Good morning and welcome to Waking Up with Don. It's Medical Monday, and I've got Dr. Nation here from Nation's Family, or Best, Nation's Best Family Practice here to tell us about what some of the risks may be for your spring breaker. Doc, spring break is in full swing.
It is.
What are some of the risks or health risks that spring breakers should be aware of? I know alcohol is probably a big thing.
It is a huge.
There's a lot of drugs out there, and
yes, sir.
And I would think STDs too might be an issue for kids.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the time of year where STD propagation is extremely prominent.
So it's like STD season? Is that...
I don't know if they would coin a phrase like that called STD season, but it certainly is really prominent, especially when you start mixing alcohol and drugs. And one of the common practices that unfortunately people are doing now is they're mixing street drugs with prescription drugs. And hydrocodone is one of the most abused prescription drug on the market.
You would think in this day and age that young people, especially of college age, would be well aware of the risks of
most of them
drugs.
don't, actually. I've treated a number of patients that they just decided that, hey, well, my friend's doing it, so this has got to be good. So, you know, and they have a good time, and it's all it's fun and games until somebody takes it a little bit too far. And there's a really fine line in there between just like safe drinking and unsafe drinking. You know, if you're, you know, we would never condone experimenting with drugs, but the real big risk is when you start mixing drugs with alcohol and then you start adding other things to it. You put those three things together and it really spells bad news for folks. And they end up in the emergency room, and that's where young people die from stuff like that, is because accidents happen, or they'll try and get behind the wheel, or they'll go stumble out on the beach. I just treated a patient yesterday. Her husband died quite a while back, but he drowned in 2 feet of water from drugs and alcohol. And he was in a boat. A bunch of friends were around him, and he fell off the boat, passed out. Apparently they didn't see him, and he drowned. And so, you know, she had to raise her 2-year-old daughter all by herself.
So sad.
Yeah.
So it really is pernicious in respect that it doesn't make you're never really safe if you're anything that compromises your ability, your judgment like that. I mean, life is hard enough.
Yes,
this
sir.
is what I tell my kids. I'm like, life is hard enough. Why would you give yourself a handicap with drugs or alcohol? But my son's friend told me he was in a club on the beach, and there was a place to put your sharps.
Yep.
If you were done with them, and it wasn't empty.
Nope. It's even here in Panama City. It's unfortunately it's more ubiquitous than most people know about, especially what most, you know, true adults or, you know, middle-aged folks know about. In the younger population and the group that goes to the clubs and it's on spring break, and the folks that come down, it's everywhere. And all you got to do is pick a phone call, or, you know, ask the right type of question, and you can have all kinds of, you know, illegal substances in your pocket.
That just seems shocking to me. I mean, when people
it's pretty dangerous, you know.
People are really up in arms about a condom ad on a banner plane.
Oh, yes.
You know, but then you hear about, you know, clubs have a receptacle for used needles, and it's not empty.
Yep.
I mean, that's a little more shocking to me than that.
It
but
is.
You don't see it; it's not as visible.
No, and unfortunately, if you look at the emergency rooms and stuff like that, they've almost had I don't know what percentage, but they've increased their staffing because of the accidents that now happen on the beach during spring break, and 90% of them are related to drugs and alcohol of some form or another, and it's usually a combination of the two. It's not just somebody getting totally trashed on drinking too many beers or wine cooler or whatever. Those kinds of things, but it's a combination of other stuff, especially if they start mixing prescription drugs with it. So
yeah. So if say you have a college-age kid who's on the beach, what advice would you give them?
Safe sex. You know you're going to have sex. Trying to avoid the topic of sex. Statistically, parents who aren't open with their children about talking about sex, even kids who have an open relationship. Kids are usually having sex at least a year before the parents ever know about it. So parents, if you think your kids aren't having sex, or you think, oh, my child would never do that,
you're a year too late.
Chances are you're probably wrong. I mean, it's just the way that hormonal actions take a hold of us. You know, I mean,
we're just hardwired to.
Yeah, I mean, really, genetically, we are programmed that this is what happens when you're young, and you know, you see something else that, hey, I like that, and I mean, it's really, really hard to say no. So, I mean, safe sex is a huge, huge part of it. And down at the county health department, you can actually walk in there and you can get bags of condoms. They hand them out by the dozen in a little brown bag, and they're free.
Wow.
And they promote it like crazy. It's, just show up and if you.
Now, some people would argue that you're promoting sex, but let's talk more about that on the other side of this break. We're going to run off to the weather right now. Now, here's your spring break weather brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm. That's westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to Waking Up with Don. It is Medical Monday, and I have Dr. Roman Nation here who's telling us about the health risks of spring break. Earlier we were talking about STDs, about safe sex, and it's something that's really awkward for parents to approach their kids about.
It is. And I see that more often than not when I have parents come in with teenagers, and as open as parents would like to be, children, as open as they want to be, children actually have a tendency to not, because they're really trying to find their own way. There's a developmental process that happens as they're growing up that says that where they realize that, well, my world is not exactly the same as mom or dad's world. So they don't actually have to know everything that goes on in my world. You want to keep that communication open, and talking about safe sex to me is a huge piece of that, to keep them safe. And once you make something that you can talk about it and it's an open conversation, then they're a lot less likely to try and get information from their friends, which is often horribly misinformed.
Yeah. I just remember my growing up years, the stories you would hear,
Oh, yeah.
But now it just seems like there's, you would imagine that kids are smarter than we were when we were younger, and not necessarily so, though.
No, not necessarily. I mean, they're certainly more informed on some subjects because there's the internet's available, and lots of people put on YouTubes about, I mean, the problem is that unless you really are working in the field and know what it's about, your chances of getting misinformation are a lot higher.
You had mentioned during the break that the health department's giving away contraceptives.
Yes, sir.
Is that the way?
Yeah, they have a couple of different programs. For girls, they actually have programs where they can get birth control pills as part of their well woman checkup and those kinds of things. They do STD checks. They do a ton of STD checks. Even if people don't go to the health department, one of the big things about STDs that people don't realize, back when we were growing up, it was all about the clap or the drip or whatever, and it caused symptoms. Chlamydia is the most common STD infection, and it does cause long-term issues if it's not detected, and most of them don't cause symptoms at all.
So you may have it and not even know you have it because there's really no symptoms to it. But it could impact, particularly women, their ability to have children later on.
Correct. Yeah, and the nice part about how finally we've developed the technology, it used to be that you had to go through and you had to have a swab that went into, inside you to try and pick up these bacteria. They can now get it off of a urine test, so you don't have to have pap smears or any of that other stuff in order to get checked for STDs. So like HIV, you check with a blood test, and most other STDs you can check with a urine check.
And you've got to understand, a lot of people find it's a very unpleasant topic.
It is.
And it's an uncomfortable topic, particularly for parents. And some people may even view this as kind of more of a moral issue than it is a public health issue. It really is a combination of both, isn't it?
It is both, because for people that are uninformed and they're just out, having a good time, the long-term effects of it really gets quite costly for a lot of that stuff. And really, if I had one piece of advice to give to parents, it's like, if you have any suspicion, just say, go get tested. You don't have to tell me anything, because they don't have to show up with mom, dad, anybody. They can go down and get tested for STDs without a parent there at all.
So you just go to the health department, a spring breaker who maybe.
Yeah, and most, as far as I know, legally, clinicians are supposed to be able to just order the test. So even if they're on mom or dad's insurance and those kinds of things, they can order those tests and run those tests.
So be careful what you drink.
Yes,
I mean, I've heard these horror stories of roofies and things like that. That goes down on. Be careful who you're with, I would imagine, is another one. And practice safe sex and keep away from drugs. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff, isn't it?
It's been. I mean, that message has been around for a really long time.
Yeah,
so it's being safe while you're in the middle of that crowd is the hard part.
You got to use your head.
That's a really good. Use your head when you're doing this.
Kids. All right, kids, use your head while you're out there. Dr. Nation, thanks so much for coming on and getting us smart on the dangers of spring break and what our young people should be on the lookout for.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, Zenobia Andrews here, your business system strategist, and I am delighted to be inside the Max Out Studios bringing you your Max a Biz tip for today. Now, our topic for today is awesome. We're talking about never giving up. Never giving up, no matter what, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what's going on in your company, in your personal life, in your finances, in your relationships. You have the power, my friend, to never give up. Never giving up means that you will have to work on your faith, on your motivation, and on your dedication and your skills in life. And the key to never giving up is believing in yourself. Believing in yourself when nobody else does. Believing in yourself when you feel like you're at the lowest of the low. You've got to know that you can rise above any obstacle in any situation that comes in your way of reaching your goals in life. No matter what, no matter what, no matter what, if anyone else believes in you, you've got to believe in yourself. Because sometimes as an entrepreneur and as a business owner or just as a person in general, you have these big goals in life, right? And sometimes with these big goals in life, no one's going to believe in them but you. But you've got to know that you have everything that it takes to achieve those goals. And you've got what it takes to not give up. Listen, there's only one difference between a loser and a winner. There's only one difference. You know what that is? The loser is the person that gives up. You are always a winner if you just keep moving forward and never giving up. Hi, I'm Zenobia Andrews, your business system strategist, and I am here to support you. Listen, if you want to reach out to me, you can find me at www.zenobiaandrews.com. And if you follow me on social media, I'll follow you back. And let's continue to press towards the max.
Welcome back to Waking Up with Don, and not only is it Medical Monday, it just happens to be St. Patrick's Day, and I'm not wearing green. Do I get pinched for that, Teresa? Okay.
You might just.
We have here Teresa Kane in the Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance. Yes. And we have some of the ladies who dance with you that you teach Irish dance to.
Yes, I do. You wanted dancers? I brought them to you.
Yes, you did.
You didn't specify a number. So.
Well, that's okay. More the merrier here. Well, how did you get started in Irish dance?
I was dancing at the age of 4. All my life, that's what I've done all my life. I came over to the States in the late 90s, and there was a St. Patrick's Day downtown, and some of the Scottish people were there, and they asked me if I could dance. So I said, well, yes, I can, actually. So I did a dance, and some of the people there involved with them, they asked me to, they suggested I open up a school, and I taught in Ireland with my teacher years ago. I've been doing this all my life.
So you have a school here now?
Yes, it's growing.
Oh, that's now, there's some symbolism to Irish dance, isn't there?
Well, let's put it this way. Dancing makes Irish people happy. The music, if you listen to the Irish music, it's got a specific rhythm. And, we like to keep warm, so we move our feet a lot because it's cold over there. But yeah, I mean, it's part of my culture, it's part of my life, it's part of who I am. If I didn't do it, I really don't know what I would be doing.
No, so it really is a form of self-expression. You don't use a lot of hand movements in Irish dance, do you?
No, you don't. Mostly your hands are kept by your side. Now in performances like river dance and Northern dance, they have incorporated the movements of the hands. But in Irish dance competitions, you do not use your arms at all. You have to hold your hands a certain way, you have to keep them by your side.
Yeah, is there a reason for that, or is that a tradition?
Well, there's several like stories to it. One was because when the people went to dances in Ireland years ago, the priests were there, and they wanted to make sure that
there's no funny business
going on. The boys were not going to touch those girls.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
That's it. And another story was in Ireland they used to have a lot of half doors, and it was Irish dancing was banned by the British for years. So, like in defiance, the Irish people would like close the half door and put their hands by their sides, so they wouldn't know. Yeah, and they wouldn't. The British wouldn't know they were dancing, but they were dancing.
Oh, so they were dancing basically from the waist down.
Yes, yes. I'm doing something, but you can't see me. You know.
Now, Now, what are the average ages of the girls? It looks like they're all pretty young.
Yes, they started about 4. It depends on the child, obviously. But the oldest lady that I taught was 80 years old. You can do Irish dancing all your life. It's a great form of exercise. It's great fun. It's great for your body. It's great for your mind. I mean, these kids here that you see with me, they're all pretty much A students, the whole lot of them. It's just a great thing for kids to do.
It's a lot of physical activity.
Yes, it is.
And then plus there's the choreography that goes along with
Exactly.
it. You have to be thinking while you're dancing.
You have to be thinking while you're dancing. So it's great for people. It's great for anyone of any age to do.
Now, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you or enroll their child in the school, how do we get in touch with you?
Well, we dance out of the Panama City Arts Co-op. But
I know where that is. I visited that
down
place.
Laverne Avenue. But anybody can call me. I'm available. Or you can look us up online. We're on Facebook. Or you can look up the Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance. We've got a website, and you can get hold of me that way.
Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance on Facebook if you want to get in touch with you and learn more about it and maybe get your child enrolled in that.
Exactly.
We have to run off to a break, but on the other side of these messages, maybe the girls can dance a little bit for us.
What do you think?
You guys up to dancing? All right, let's do that. Well, let's run off to this break, and we'll be right back for a little St. Patrick's Day fun. Welcome back to Waking Up with Don, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I have Teresa Kane here from the Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance, and some of her dancers here. Who do we have here, Teresa?
We have Maura, Paige, and Elizabeth. Maura, Paige, and Elizabeth are they're prize winner and prelim championship dancers.
Easy for you to say, prelim champions.
Prelim championship. Maura's just going to prelim championship, so and the other two are in prize winners, so they're heading right up the ladder, and they're going to dance a treble reel dance for you.
A treble reel dance?
Yeah, it's a hard shoe dance.
Okay. They look like hard shoes, so I expect a hard shoe dance. You girls ready?
Yes.
All right. That was great, Teresa.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I know. Now, who do we have here now? What are these kids going to do?
We have Ada, Carmelina, and Hannah, and they're also moving into prize winner, and they are going to do another treble reel, but different steps.
Different steps to the treble reel.
Yes, we have lots of them.
I bet you do. I can't wait to see.
There you go. Are you ready?
All right, girls, hit it. That was just awesome stuff. You guys are so talented. It's amazing. And Teresa, you've got all this bling here. What's this about?
We like bling. Bling
I
is
know.
good.
Now,
Yes.
these are some of the trophies and awards that the kids have won, huh?
Yes, they've done very, very well over the past 2 years at dance competitions. We went to a dance competition in Atlanta in, I think it was October, and I took about 9 or 10 dancers, and there was one dancer there from New York City, and we're all with the Niall O'Leary School, and we took home over 100 awards.
Wow, that's amazing
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
So not only is it like good training for the kids, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit of discipline, physical activity,
Yeah.
and all that, but there are certainly rewards that
Yes,
go along
yes,
with
they
competition.
They love to get the trophies. They really do enjoy getting them. But we always teach our kids we're a team. We're very much a family, very much a team.
Where can I go to see you guys? Where are you going to be next?
We're going to be at Beef O'Brady's
Uh-huh.
at 5 o'clock.
The one on 77,
The
Beefs.
one on, yeah, with Pat Perno.
Ah, what a gentleman he is,
Yes,
too.
yes, he has us there every year. So, yeah.
And
will
well,
be there.
he should, because
Exactly.
with a name like Beef O'Brady's, you should have some
Yeah,
Irish
yeah.
dancers around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thanks for sharing the talents of your students and letting us take a look at some of your trophies here.
I appreciate you having
And
us.
good luck to you. You've been watching Waking Up with Don, and we'll see you next time. Happy St. Patrick's Day.